As a coach of over 25 years, here are 10 things that I see master cyclists make with their training that are stopping them from getting and seeing the results that they are really looking for and getting to think, am I too old for this? No, it's not their age, it's not their metabolism or even hormonal changes that makes them slower or less powerful. Some of these mistakes you'll know, and some of them are top tips to save for later. Number 10 is the most important one if you're concerned about heart health. So hit like and subscribe if you don't want to miss a thing. Ready for this? Let's go. Now, stacking sessions back to back, not allowing enough space for recovery. You've got to remember that training creates stress, which is important for growth, but too much training stress blunts training adaptations and makes you more tired and flat in your harder training sessions, and that stops progression. This links into number 10, so keep watching if you want to get stronger and faster on your bike and protect your heart health. It might surprise you that it takes 20 weeks of meaningful strength training consistently to see the peak gain of that strength training, and between 12 and 16 weeks of threshold work to see the results of that threshold work. Jumping from one type of session, so like doing a VO2 session and then a sweet spot session and then a threshold session, may seem like it's fun and hard work in training, but in reality, it is just not specific enough to see real progression that you need in specificity to get the result that you want. I see this happen all the time, and that's master cyclists adding extra intensity to make up for lost time in aerobic sessions. Here's an example. Let's say your ride was 4 hours, but it turned into 2 hours because time just got tight. So you decided to smash that training 2 hour to make up for the shortfall. In reality, what that does is it takes you out of the aerobic capacity that you were focusing for, and it also adds a lot of excessive fatigue into the system, which is going to play into your harder sessions later on during the week. I understand why people think, oh, we need to go a little bit harder here, but actually don't. Stick within an aerobic capacity of training. That still builds a really good quality, robust engine over time. And save your energy for the tougher session to come. If you want to ride your bike long and fast, you've got to do some kind of volume training. Thinking that a couple of hard sessions a week is enough is really not going to improve your cycling that much. If you want just general fitness, yes, that's definitely going to help you. But if you actually want to become a better cyclist, a couple of hours of random intensity is never going to cut it. You need more total time on the bike, and you probably need to reorganize your diary to get that volume in. So yes, you need to have some steady volume in your training if you want to improve as a cyclist, and it definitely is going to help you in point number 10. The all or nothing at all mentality, definitely something I used to suffer with, and telling myself that you just don't have time to train, so don't bother. But actually, over the years, I've realized that if I've got 30 minutes to do a training session, that's all I've got. I'm going to get 30 minutes of training done, because 30 minutes of training done, even if it's 30 minutes of a planned intensity session, is 30 minutes better than nothing at all. Now, clearly, if you're always doing your training like that over a week, then you're missing out. But if we have that do what you can attitude rather than the all or nothing at all attitude, it helps us rewrite our inner thinking, I don't have time to, let's make time, and that creates flow and consistency. Do me a favor, if you're finding this content helpful, hit me a like and a subscribe and keep watching right to the end, because that helps grow the channel and it's what YouTube loves. Cyclists are terrible for this, and that's thinking that every session has to be absolutely perfect and believing that if it's not, then they've just ruined everything and they might as well give up because it's all failed. Well, that's not the case. Here's a good example. Let's say the week before you did 4 times 5 minutes at threshold and you absolutely nailed it, and this week you repeated that session, but you were a little bit under. It could be that you're a bit more fatigued, you didn't sleep that well, or you didn't really prep well enough, or life or work and family has just been really full on. Here's the thing that I say to the people that I work with a lot. It doesn't need to always be perfect. It just needs to be as close to perfect as you can make it. flipping out, the sun's come out. Now, this one I think everybody falls into, and that's expecting training to always feel motivating and exciting, wanting every ride to feel fun and fresh and inspiring. Let's face it, in reality, training is a grind sometimes. Sometimes we feel sad, sometimes we feel tired, sometimes we just can't be bothered to get on our bikes for whatever reason. But the important bit is this: whatever your feelings are, start turning the pedals by simply starting that session, not thinking about how you think or feel or how stressed you are or whatever's holding you back. Is starting often is what's stopping you from progression. This one's super important, and that's not understanding sensible progressions of training. This one is key to understanding, as it's very much related to number 10. And training has to be progressive over time, but you don't need to push it really hard in every single session and every single ride. That isn't progression, that's just excessive training fatigue. Sometimes holding the same workload for a couple of weeks can build fitness and confidence, but you really have to start moving the needle on and progress. And the biggest mistake I see is that master cyclists push too hard, too fast, and then break down or get ill and go backwards. And by backwards, I mean they start to say that they've lost their focus and motivation or mojo, and they literally stop training. So they drop fitness, and then it's a struggle to get back into it again. Now, sometimes I get a bit of kickback on this, but actually a lot of cyclists just wing the week instead of planning it around their life and working out how to fit sessions in rather than on the fly, then looking at what's going on in the family and work life and then scheduling it in your diary and deciding in advance what you can realistically achieve over the week. It's pretty straightforward, but this is where a lot of people fall down because they put themselves last. And my advice is plan you in your diary alongside your work week and family commitments. That'll help you stay consistent and in focus and literally give you time back to the family. Number 10. Now this is the big one. At nearly 55, I've been thinking about this a lot, and that is heart health for life. Now, where I see the biggest issue is the stop-start mentality of training. From virtually nothing to big chunks of vigorous overdose training and back to nothing. It's a classic, I'll start in January, smash myself to bits, then back off over the summer. You can see the problem here, right? Super out of condition cyclists loading up on hard, close together training sessions, adding volume that's way too much and too intense at the weekends with their club rides. It is a classic 20-year story of how much you hammered yourself in chain gang and Zwift races, going from hero to zero on repeat, repeat, repeat. Here's a little bit of an insight. Sometimes I get people saying to me, "Hey Simon, don't you think you do too much? Don't you think you should take some time off?" Here's my thinking around this, and it's my philosophy of keeping on with purpose. Yes, I keep my strength training going on all year round. And yes, I have an element of aerobic capacity that doesn't drop over the year. And yes, I keep some kind of focused intensity to keep my fitness at a really decent level. But there's a reason for that. From my experience and understanding as a coach, periodizing and planning builds of intensity and steady recovery work is critical to keep training stress from building too high and growing that robust foundation of fitness to protect your heart. My goal for Master Cyclists is to get you in a healthy position where you are consistently strong in the gym and maintaining a level of power on the bike and aerobic fitness that all you ever really need to do is fine tune to take on events. It really is a case of keeping on with purpose. The thing is where master cyclists really struggle is they just fail to see how long it takes to grow and build aerobic capacity, how long it takes to grow threshold, strength, and VO2, a lot longer than they think. And if you've ever wondered how long it's going to take you to build your strength, power, and fitness, then this video is going to help you understand just that.